Still have the ongoing severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here in eastern Benton County. I want to jump back on. I saw some stronger winds here that could cause some wind damage here in East Rogers. It just moved through Prairie Creek. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. I had to reboot this real quick. There you go. East of Prairie Creek, you're looking at the indications of about 1 inch hail. But what really caught my eye here, let me show you real quick. Um, as we look in at this storm, inside the storm from the wind. See what I mean? Right in here. Look at that wind. That is really going. I mean, that's close to 50 miles an hour here. That's enough to push some trees out of the ground here. And that's the kind of wind damage that's going to be possible through this thing through the overnight. You can see how it just kind of ramps up and then moves to the southeast. You got a little bit of a fall off here too on the backside. Let's see if it's on reflectivity. Not much there. But this is a really strong storm here on the east side of Benton County. I'm gonna look at this again on this radar. So what happens when you reboot it? You get that black flash screen. I'm smart at it. Fixed it before I hit the play button. That's all right though. Let's get into this a little bit closer here and look at that storm in East Rogers. Look at the dark pinks and purples. This is some torrential rainfall here out towards Beaver Shores. Good night. This is along Pine Lane, Fir Lane. Here's Cypress, which runs east. I think the boat ramp is right over here. Boy, that is really coming down. That's right there on 12, right before you get to the bridge. You approach the bridge, you look to the north, you can see the lake. It is coming down on Beaver Lake out there towards Beacon Addition, Lakeland Hills. I think if we get any wind damage, it's going to be in this area here. Boy, it even picked up even more right there. That's over Cookston Road, Canyon Village Road, and Hopper Road along 12. This is just past the bridge when you get past Beaver Shores and keep going east. There's that big bend where it moves back towards the south. And that's some very heavy rainfall. Let's check out the wind in this thing here and see if we can find where the wind damage could be potentially occurring. I'm going to loop this too so you guys can see how this is trended here. Wasn't much for a while, was there? And then boom, you get this dark green that develops here. That dark green would be damaging winds, generally over that same area along War Eagle Road, Townsend Ridge, along Highway 12, moving out towards the east with some heavy wind and rainfall on the east side of Benton County. So it's not the west side. And what's crazy is if you move farther south, there's nothing. There's nothing. If you're in Fayetteville, you're wondering why I'm even talking about this. Well, it's mostly the eastern part of the county, and what's happened is there's actually a boundary that's draped out across the area that's responsible for it. Um, see if I can pull that up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So you have that boundary that is situated here right across the region. That's where it is now, and you have a little bit of an moisture plume, which is essentially sitting right on top of us. As we move into the overnight, though, what's going to happen is that boundary is going to sag a little more. This is Saturday morning. You can see those showers still developing along the front. So I think we get the rain overnight into the first part of the day with that boundary that's just sitting there, basically right on top of us. I'm going to go back to radar because the new scan was pretty nasty there. Look at now we're getting into these darker black colors. So this is a hail signature here, or torrential rain like you've never seen here on the east side of Prairie Creek. This is still right around Highway 12. The wind damage potential really ramps up right there around War Eagle Mill. It's on the north side of the mill, it looks like. I'm showing winds approaching 60 miles an hour in here. I think you probably do get some trees down in this area. If you have any pictures of damage, you can post them on this feed, and I'll share them later. But that's going to be tracking southeast. So you can see how this thing is developed. It looks like the cell started collapsing here right there along 62. And then as we jump through time here, you can see the colors start to pick up near Prairie Creek. Gets a little darker, or a little brighter at least, a little bit more. See what I mean? It's still going. I mean, this is a collapsing storm here out towards War Eagle. So this area here north of War Eagle is going to be the place to watch for damaging winds. Wouldn't even be surprised if they ended up expanding this warning a little bit down to the south to cover this area here near War Eagle, just because that's where the strongest winds are currently located. Back over to the other radar source here. Let's isolate this and tell you who's underneath it. Of course, if you're underneath it, you don't need me to tell you, right? It's right here. It's along War Eagle Road, War Eagle Creek, Bettis Hill Road, which runs to the east out towards 12, Highway 127 running east, south of Rambo Riviera, and then Rock, the community named Rock. Not sure if it's there's all kinds of dad jokes. I'm not going to do it. We got some strong storms here. South of Clear Point, and then Railroad Cutoff Road. What is this going to be? This is Pine Creek. So along Pine Creek, can't get a road to populate here. So we're looking at a rural area But generally speaking, this is north of the War Eagle Mill, which is right up in this area here, just west of High Sky Road. And it probably should put out a pretty nasty looking shelf cloud too, I think, when this storm moves on through. It looks like there was an accident on Highway 12. I just noticed that. Let me see if I can get this one pulled up here for you. I don't actually have you won't be able to see. Let's see here. You're not gonna see a camera. There's no cameras there. But this one? There it is. This is the iDrive Arkansas map here, but it shows an accident here, blocking all lanes of traffic on Highway 12. So if you're headed east on 12, don't. It's not another way. There's really not another way. I mean, 62 is going to take you around the world before you get it. But you can see the dark red shading here. The accident looks like it was on Dream Valley Road and Bull Hill Road, just north of Stone Ridge Road and Old Prairie Creek Road along 12. So there's an accident here that's really slowed things down in this particular area. No cameras in this area here um, from the storms that are moving through. I thought we had one that was out that way, but maybe they took it down. Usually with the bad accidents, the highway department takes them down. So that could be something to watch. Actually, I think we were looking at this camera earlier. That was the one. That one's looking west, so it's not as impressive anymore since it's moving westward. Back to the radar source here, and that green color is up there, isn't it? I think we got some wind damage here. And it looks like, oh yeah, they just issued a new warning. Kind of thought they'd do that. New severe thunderstorm warning was issued for southeast Benton County. Looks like it includes northern Madison and southern Carroll County. So a new warning on this with the storms that are moving through, and it's due in part to that dark green area here. What the Weather Service saying on this? They got it moving east at 35 miles an hour. They're saying hail could be a little bit bigger than quarter size, and they're still looking at wind gusts that are approaching about 50 miles an hour here. It would be right over War Eagle. That's where the wind is, and really the distance on this thing is that wind runs about 2 miles across by 2 miles east west, and actually about 2 miles north south. So um, you got about a 4 square mile area here where you got some very strong winds that are coming down. Um, Here in War Eagle. Elsewhere, I mean, it's raining, but it's not that bad. It's War Eagle that's bad, and it's probably because the outflow is pushing right in here. The hail would actually fall north of that. Again, let's go to maximum estimated hail size. There we go. So we got 1 inch hail. There could be potentially some hail south of LaRue on the south side of Beaver Lake, but really it's War Eagle that has the highest risk of some stronger storms. Back over to base velocity here. Let's loop this. Look at that thing just push that air out. Goodness. That is some strong wind, and of course the new warning configuration on this too. That could hold together and get into Clifty, but usually with these downbursts, what you end up with is literally a downburst of wind, and that's pretty much all she wrote with it. So um, something to keep an eye on here with that storm for sure. One of the things I was looking at here is let me see this little pixel here. It's east side of War Eagle Mill. Let's find where that is over here. So here's War Eagle. It's really just along Bettis Hill, Highway 12, and Highway 127. That's the area really getting pounded by this wind right now. Um, I'm not able to get any of the county roads, the rural roads to populate on here. But you probably don't need me to tell you because it's probably super duper loud. In fact, the thunderstorm part's really loud too. That's more towards the north side of this thing, over on Beaver Lake on Highway 12, where that car accident was, east of Beaver Shores. Heavy showers out around Tanglewood right now. Even a lightning strike just popped up there out towards Rocky Branch and Tanglewood and East Robin Road out towards Lake Estate Circle and Rocky Branch. New Scan moves it a little farther to the south southeast. That's more towards Tanglewood and Four Seasons Road as you move towards Beaver Lake, and all that heavy stuff is moving out there southeast of Rambo Riviera along Cobble Lane and Tomerlin Grist Mill Road in East Benton County. That's heavy rainfall. That's potentially some wind and hail, but I still think the wind risk is quite a bit higher here. Head over War Eagle, where the base velocity is just going bonkers here, with that dark blue area showing high risk of some damaging winds here, probably 40 to 50 miles an hour. No, it's not like that supercell that we had that had like 110 mile an hour winds pushing out. Still though, 60. I mean, that's going to knock some trees over, and if you're in the house and the tree falls on, that's not good. So there's some strong winds in this area. For those of you who are just turning this on thinking, what's he talking about? There's like nothing out there. Well, There actually is. And what we're going to see going into the overnight is additional showers and storms start to develop. And then those storms should move through. I'm going to see if I can turn on the surface analysis real quick and give you guys a feel for it. So, backing way out here. So we have this front, right? So this is a focal point for storms. That one stretches from central Missouri back into southeast Kansas. Got some storms building there. Then you got this boundary, which is draped from around Claremore over across North Salem Springs through Rogers, and then over towards Green Forest and Harrison. So this little guy here is going to track southeast right along that boundary. So it's going to move in that direction, and that's where the heaviest showers and storms are going to be. That's why they issued that severe thunderstorm watch, which goes to 11 o'clock. This area is worked over. Oh, check out the outflow boundary. Watch this. This is cool air, and everybody needs some cool air right now. Watch this little boundary that develops and moves south. See it right here? Let me watch it again real quick. That's cool air spilling out of the storm. So that's moving towards Fayetteville. Thank goodness. You guys in Elkins and Fayetteville and Springdale, you're going to get some cool air out of it. It's a little U shape there. That could continue moving south. Here's the catch, though. As that moves south, it could actually lift the warm air and cause additional storms. So that will act as another little mesoscale or microscale boundary, showing that risk of some storms here. But overnight, we will get more showers and more thunderstorms in the area. Those are going to be pretty common here for the next for the overnight hours in midnight, maybe even towards the first part of the day. I had the severe weather risk located. I'm gonna see if I can perhaps update this for you real quickly. So this is just the wind risk, and I wanted to isolate the wind risk to show you the hatched area. That's in North Oklahoma and Kansas. That's where the wind damage risk is higher. The storms all track southeast, so really the bullseye for this stuff tonight is going to be running northwest to southeast here in the northwestern tier of Arkansas. I'm going to change this on the fly. It may look weird. If it does, I apologize. But one of the cool things I was looking at was make this a little larger for you guys here. These are the updated rainfall totals for the next 24 hours, and this is needed. I mean, this could be over an inch of rain in some of these areas as those storms move in from the northwest towards the south and to the southeast. So those are two new things to look at here. Both the risk of severe weather and thunderstorms with damaging winds tonight, and then also some more rainfall. This area needs rain, so it's good to see the rain here over Beaver Lake. Not necessarily this nasty wind, but the rain, sure, we'll take it. Back over to the other radar source real quick. I'm going to zoom out here. Still had that wind that just passed over War Eagle. This was that. I'm focusing on this green bluish blob here. See, it looks like it gusted out. So the worst, if there is wind damage, I suspect it's somewhere around the War Eagle area, and it looks like the colors are coming down now. So a good true downburst where the winds burst out and then starts to fade. So what to expect for the rest of the evening? Well, I think this stuff kicks back up later tonight, maybe blowing and going around midnight into the first part of the day on Saturday. I think it'll still fester, which is good because we need the rainfall, but they will have some potential for damaging winds and even some hail. The hail risk isn't as big as the wind risk. I think the wind risk is biggest. Unlike late May when we had that large area of wind that just knocked it all over the place, we're looking at more of a smaller area of damaging wind. It's still strong, still pockets of wind, not quite as strong as what you get with supercell storms, but nonetheless strong enough to down some trees or even some power lines. So that's going to be something I'm going to keep an eye on. I'll watch it for you guys, and if anything looks interesting, I may jump back on either this evening or in the middle of the night as these storms continue moving on through the area. Catch you back next time.